Hello and welcome everybody to today's webinar. My name is Jackson Root, Content and Creative Marketing Manager here at DTEN. We have a very exciting webinar ahead of us this morning. We'll get started in just a few minutes as we wait for a few more attendees to trickle in. Sit back, relax, and we'll get started in just a few minutes. Thank you everybody for joining. Hello everybody, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Jackson Root, Content and Creative Marketing Manager here at DTEN. Today's webinar is titled Meet the New Zoom Whiteboard with DTEN Solutions. You've heard a lot about the new Zoom Whiteboard lately, and today we're going to be going through some of the new features that are coming to Zoom Whiteboard. Zoom Whiteboard is the new Zoom Whiteboard is a complete rebuild of the Zoom Whiteboard that you know. So it has new tools, new features, new sharing functions. It's very much a complete remake of the tool that you know. So with me today, I have Scott Krueckeberg, our Head of Strategic Alliances at DTEN. Nathan Shaw from the Zoom team will be showing us the new Zoom Whiteboard, and Mark Barragan, North America Zoom Rooms Manager at Zoom as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick it off and get started.
Appreciate it, Jackson. Nathan, very special guest today. Appreciate you joining us. And if you guys don't know, Nathan is driving this whiteboard experience. So we're super thankful that he could join us today, bring some color to the situation around Zoom and how they're deploying this new product. And then, of course, Mark, is always good to see you, sir. Thank you for joining us today.
Likewise. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So today's agenda, we're going to meet this fantastic new product, this amazing tool, the new Zoom Whiteboard, and we're going to take you through this experience, the new features, what you're going to get with the new Zoom Whiteboard, and then we'll wrap it up with a sneak peek at this thing really in action. So we're definitely excited today to present this to everyone. So we'll go through that overview. We'll cover those new features. The supported hardware and some user experience and use cases on how you can deploy this for your company, all the way through education, and then how to get started here. We'll wrap it up with some Q&A, so please save those towards the end. We'll try and get to them in chat as we move along if we can, but we will answer as many of those as possible to wrap things up. So real quick, we have a lot of new stuff in here, some forward-looking statements. As you know, this product is still under beta. It's in customer review. So we're very lucky that Zoom could join us today to debut some of these new things. Real quickly from my side, from DTEN, we are an all-in-one hardware device manufacturer for Zoom. So we co-innovate with Zoom and Zoom Rooms. We were the first purpose-built all-in-one device for Zoom. So you get the camera, the microphones, the speaker, the touchscreen, and that touchscreen experience really helps drive this new whiteboard. So we were first to bring this to market with Zoom. We're the leader in this all-in-one device deployment. So our current customers and future customers are probably in this webinar really excited to see what we have today. We co-develop and engineer all of our products together. So the software and the hardware come together to make that perfect experience. And it's also simplicity and value that is driving that DTEN experience. So it's very easy to deploy these solutions, scale these solutions. And we've seen hundreds and thousands of joint Zoom and DTEN customers really provide a better experience using Zoom and DTEN together. So this has been happening since 2017. So to have a new whiteboard, a new product here coming in 2022, we're just really excited on how it's going to elevate the current product you own and the future deployments that you'll have with DTEN and Zoom in the future. So without further ado,
really quick, I just want to make it you know, we're seeing some technical issues on our end with the video that's being shown. So I want you guys to know that we're aware of it. We'll work on trying to resolve it, but in the meantime, please bear with us as we.
Jackson, really quick, one of the people participating today mentioned that you can unclick optimize video. Maybe we could do that on the share really quickly, and then when you do get to the video, we'll share it back if we can optimize for video again. Let's give that a shot. Thanks out there, audience, for pointing that out to us. See if we can get that to work. Perfect.
Thank you, everybody. This is a collaborative effort. Please enjoy the rest of the webinar.
So let's get in here. First, we'd like to kick off with debuting kind of an experience video that was put together by Zoom. It's going to highlight this experience on what you can expect from the new Zoom whiteboard. So let's kick it off. It's exciting, and I think you'll get a really good idea of what this could look like for you.
An idea can start anywhere. But ideas become something bigger when collaboration happens. Zoom whiteboards allow you to collaborate in real time and continue the project after meeting with your colleagues. It's easy for people anywhere to contribute to the same project, like escalating a call to a Zoom room. Collaborate with innovative features that make it simple for hybrid teams to interact in new ways, like using your tablet in companion mode. The easy-to-share and easy-to-access persistent Zoom whiteboard means you can pick up right where you left off. Collaborate together in a Zoom Rooms for Touch. Add sticky notes, images, and annotations where needed. Or you can fully contribute to projects on Zoom Whiteboard, on your laptop, your mobile device, in different locations. The Zoom Rooms for Touch whiteboard works as an extension of your virtual canvas, allowing groups of people to work on the same project together. And because Zoom Whiteboard's infinite canvas is virtual, users will be able to interact through a range of devices. Walk into any Zoom room and share your content wirelessly. It's advanced collaboration using the same easy-to-use and reliable video technology you know and love. With Zoom Whiteboard, get more done together.
So we got some very cool stuff going on there, right, with the new Zoom whiteboard. So with that video, it kind of gives you a really good idea of what this experience could be like. And we're going to talk about how this is cross-platform. So you can do this via web. You can do it in the Zoom Rooms app. So it's really a cross-platform solution that Zoom has stepped up to develop. So you can roll this out, right, for any use case or any product mix that you might bring into your company or your education institution. So really exciting stuff. And now I think I'm going to turn it over to Nathan, who is the expert here. He's been behind the scenes developing this and driving it. So Nathan, why don't you kind of hop in and let's start from how you guys redesigned this thing from the ground up.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott, and everyone. So yes, my name is Nathan Shaw. I'm product marketing manager for Zoom Whiteboard, and really excited to be here and talk to you about Zoom Whiteboard. So just a note real quick, you are the first and the largest external group that we've talked to about this yet. So thank you very much for joining us and staying on and watching the video and the demo and everything. So just a few points I wanted to make right off. This is, if you're familiar with the original Zoom whiteboard, this is not it. This is completely different. The original Zoom whiteboard is basically it's annotation over a white background, right? This is a whole new product that's been built, from scratch, from the ground up. Another key note, very important, that was mentioned a little earlier, is that it's persistent. It's a persistent solution, so it's always on. You can always jump in. You don't need a meeting to use it. It's all, you know, anytime you can jump in and create this doc. I'll show you in a second. And it works across the entire Zoom ecosystem, right? The whole platform of products. It integrates perfectly with everything. So quick example, right? So if I'm sharing a whiteboard in a meeting, then normally it's just a one-way sharing, right? But with Zoom Whiteboard, we're integrating some features that will allow me as a meeting admin to allow my meeting participants to either have edit access or view only access, for example, before I start sharing. So if we want that two-way collaboration instantly in a meeting, we can do that also. Same thing with webinars. Similar thing with like Zoom chat. So if let's say I'm collaborating on my own, on my laptop in the evening, and I create a project and I want to send it to a group of chat people, I can do that, right? So just a couple of examples how it integrates perfectly with the entire Zoom platform here. Some other imagery, what you're seeing here is we're going to have a new logo. It's going to be across, you're going to be able to access it across, you know, anything that basically Zoom works on, right? You can see here on the left, right, for the Zoom apps. And then on the right, you can see it's on a Zoom Rooms for Touch on a D10, D7. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Great. So it's persistent across the Zoom platform. We talked about that. You'd be able to access it from, you know, any from the app, from the web, right, or Zoom Rooms for Touch. It is perfect for Zoom Rooms for Touch, right? It's designed basically for this. So yes, you can absolutely create projects and do everything end to end on a laptop, right, on your mobile device. But when you think about it, right, it's a whiteboard, and you'll see here in a second. We actually, part of our demo, you'll see we've been able to port it on D10, D7 Zoom Room for Touch, and so it's really perfect for that, right? And we've done a really good job integrating it into this physical hardware. Okay, so we ready to see a live version? We have we thought we'd just jump into the demo right away. We have you know, more slides on deeper dive into going over the features and stuff, but let's just go ahead and do the demo. So with that, let me share my screen. So just a few things too, kind of back to the disclaimer. Let's see, where is it? Here it is, you know, this is an internal, currently, when this is in beta right now. We've released it to a subset of beta customers. It's also an internal beta, right? So anything can change, anything can go wrong. It's, you know, it's very much, I'm very excited to show the whole team, to show you all, you know, these kind of early views of our new product here. But at the same time, please do not share any of this externally. Please do not you know, hold us to anything that you may see, because it may change. So the web version, to access the whiteboard, Zoom Whiteboard in the web version, you would go to the zoom.us, you would log into your profile, right? And it's just, once you log in, it's just with everything else, right? It would be whiteboards here. So in this example, we're going to go ahead and create a new whiteboard. Right, and remember, this is persistent. So this has nothing to do with the meeting that we're in now. I'm just completely creating this on my own, right? Like this is a new idea I have. Right, and so a couple features, we have our menu bar here. A couple unique features are the shapes and the flows. So you can see right away, you're gonna see right away all these other options. And so I created a square, but now I can, let's say, quickly create another square, right? And very quickly, I can start creating a flow chart. You grab these, right? And I want to, let's say, right, so you can see, not only do you just create basic shapes, but we've added in some like nice intelligence to these. So if you want to start building things out very quickly, you can. And then of course you can double click into it. You can change colors. You're like, oh wait, and actually I didn't want it to be that shape. I wanted this to be the circle, right? So you can get very granular. It's not the old Zoom whiteboard. You can see already, it's very different, right? Duplicate copy. So we really did like literally take the double click on our whiteboard. Okay, so now we have these shapes, you know, lines, arrows, right? All the standard stuff. Text boxes. So let's say we now want to get, you know, this is whatever. And then you can, of course, manipulate the text. You can enlarge it. You can change colors, right? So you're starting to see this is definitely more than just the regular Zoom whiteboard. We have sticky notes. Wait, now it's starting to get busy. So I'm going to zoom out. And that's part of that infinite canvas. So you can really zoom out infinitely as much as your computer will take. But basically people can jump into any part of the board, right, and start creating their idea. Then you can zoom out and kind of see the big picture. Same thing with text notes you have, or sticky notes. You can create text, you can tag people is a big deal. So let's say, wait, I have to send it to share it. I don't think tagging people in you can tag them in sticky notes. I don't know if it's working right now. I don't see anything popping up. But if I wanted to share this, I could add them here. Right. And so then I would send that, they would get something in their shared folder. And then they can jump in and start collaborating. So as far as like collaborating together, let's show that a little bit. So I've showed you my new idea. This was completely on my own. I'm not in a meeting, nothing, right? I'm going to go back to my dashboard. There is a meeting that someone has shared with me, or I'm sorry, there is a Zoom whiteboard someone has shared with me. And it happens to be where Mark is. Mark is in the office and he is on a DTEN D7. So I'm going to open up what was shared with me here. And this is a project that we've been working on, collaborating on together, DTEN and Zoom. You can see this flow chart looks pretty easy to follow, right? No weird turns there. And so I am in this whiteboard. It has been shared with me on Mark's side. Let's see, is Mark there? Yes, I see it. And so Mark actually, if you can see, he's been pinned.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here in front of the DTEN all-in-one board. So you guys can see right here, live on the fly as Nathan is, moving graphics over. I'm seeing it live happen on the board itself. So very cool, right from this large canvas over here. And then of course I can also zoom out. Maybe I want to get a closer look. I could do things here as well as like maybe I want to adjust some things on the fly. It's just very, very easy to interact with. And you can see here that, maybe I want this graphic over here. So now I'm moving it right here with my fingers. Maybe I want to readjust it. And now I have it over here. So very powerful on the way we're able to collaborate together, just on the fly like that. So very cool with the DTEN all-in-one. So we're collaborating across different devices. And again, the one thing we wanted to do with these devices right here, all-in-ones, is we wanted to make it simple for the everyday user. We know there's some advanced whiteboarding tools on the market today that tend to focus on power users, but we want to bring these to the markets with this new whiteboard that everybody can use. So it's a simple way of doing this, advanced whiteboarding features versus the more complex style.
Absolutely. And when, what I think is great, Mark, is when this is, released in January, right, tentatively, is when we're going to kind of see this hopefully roll out to some of the Zoom Room for touch devices. But when you can enable this D7 in the new whiteboard environment, it's going to allow you to use those touchscreen capabilities and pinch zoom and pinch out and use a stylus and have many, many more tools than you do now with the current whiteboard. So it's really exciting how you can incorporate Zoom Rooms for touch into really kind of bringing this experience 360 for the user.
Yeah, and the feedback has been great so far in terms of where we're headed with this. Thanks everyone on the call today. This is one of the very first live demos we've ever actually done on this. So the excitement
Yeah.
is really pent up, and a lot of our users are looking forward to all these advanced features that they're going to get with this, all new redesigned whiteboard from us. And just like we mentioned before, in the past, when you save a whiteboard session, you save it as a JPEG image, and then that's it. It's done. Now with this, what you guys are seeing is a persistent whiteboard or a living whiteboard where it continues to live on across different devices. Right here, we're showing it with a D10, which is extremely awesome for me to be able to interact with this. I wish you guys were able to do it here live with myself, but a lot more features to come here as well.
I'm just playing around a little bit. Yeah, just showing them how you can start pointing things out, or how people can start brainstorming, working together on their laptop, on a mobile device, on a Zoom Rooms for Touch. So I think that's probably it with the demo. I'm going to go ahead and stop here so we can get back to slides. Unless anyone had any questions or wanted to see something else.
I think a lot of the questions, Nathan, you kind of answered in your presentation. So there's questions about tagging, right, which we know that will exist. So users will be notified when they are tagged in that whiteboard, and with a sticky note or instructions, right, you can leave behind notes for collaboration, and really it allows everyone from home to in the office to still collaborate on that board, which is really exciting. So the sharing feature, I assume the sharing feature is going to pull up your resources, right, like it currently does. So if you do have those specific users in your company contacts as a resource, that's where that quick tagging and that quick sharing feature will come into play.
Exactly. Correct. You basically have to have a Zoom account to use Zoom Whiteboard. And then once you have a Zoom account, any sharing into that would be just dependent on administrative rights and stuff. But yeah, you can share basically with anyone with a Zoom account.
And then at any time you can actually go into the web portal, right, into your Zoom account, and that's how you can manage all those files and those different session files, right?
Exactly.
Excellent. There was a question about exporting as a JPEG. Mark, I think you covered that. So you will have different file type options in this new whiteboard.
Yep, you'll be able to export, but more importantly, it lives on as well. So this is that's a new flow that we don't have. That's super exciting. Is when I'm done with my whiteboard session, I don't necessarily have to save it to a JPEG. I can, but I can also just continue to have it living within a chat session and use it across different devices.
Yeah, and that is really cool, right? We'll be able to show that feature here when we kind of do whiteboarding round 2, where we'll kind of come in closer to when this is deployable and really show you a final product. But what's great is touch screens are going to be able to respond to this, which is exciting. So you don't have to have a touch screen. You can easily use a mouse and a keyboard, which isn't as free-flowing and creative as you can be with a touchscreen and a stylus. But that current experience, on the web or on the client, you have to use a mouse and a keyboard. And we've noticed that, especially in education or when you're doing any sort of presentation, it's not the ideal environment. So that's really where Zoom Rooms for Touch kind of kicks this up a notch and allows you to be more interactive and more creative on the fly.
Absolutely.
And one question, not sure if we addressed it, but can we share the whiteboard with someone who doesn't have a Zoom account, and we can send them a copy of what the work that we produce with one of these whiteboards. However, if you don't have a Zoom account, then you won't be able to collaborate with us live on it.
Some other just small questions, right? Like storage limit. Is there, do you have a maximum amount of bucket for whiteboard files, or is that unlimited, Nathan?
I don't. It may be going through some finalization. I'm pretty sure that with the Zoom paid accounts, it's unlimited. I'd be willing to guess there's probably a limitation with the free version. But yeah, I don't know it right off.
Yeah, we're still evaluating how that's going to work, but you know, based on our early usage, I mean, we're not really taking as much space, right, as you do with the video recording. So you'll be able to hold tons of whiteboards onto our cloud.
Yeah, I imagine so, right? When you have enough room for video, right, you should have plenty of overhead here for the whiteboard file. So that's really exciting. You know, as you see on the screen here, we're just kind of recapping those editing tools, you know, that Nathan showed you live, but, you know, just the expansion of shapes, creating shapes, the lines and the arrows to kind of connect the dots. Those are really cool features that I know a lot of customers, you know, have been inquiring about for quite some time. So it's really nice that you guys are bringing those tools to the Zoom user. Very cool stuff.
Another question is on templates, and we might not have templates the onset when we first release it. However, templates is definitely going to be in there, so that you can create, you know, a new whiteboard session from an existing template to get a head start. So yes, that's something we definitely will have in there.
Very cool. Yeah. And there's a lot of questions here on, you know, device types. And, you know, towards the end of this, we'll get into some DTEN products and some use cases that we really feel are going to drive value for you and bring this feature to include the most collaboration and how you can really think about deploying this within your organization. So we'll definitely touch base on all of that before we wrap up today. Here on the screen now, just to recap those features. So this is, you know, part of the new whiteboard. So that infinite canvas, I think, is really exciting. Being able to pinch and zoom in and zoom out. So you always have room to add notes, to add ideas, to add more creative. So that's definitely a huge upgrade. We've talked about the shapes and connectors. What I think is great is that drag and drop images. So you saw in the demo how you can incorporate logos, right? Which is new. So you can fly something you might have drawn outside of the whiteboard, but still be able to include that and really kind of bring this into presentation mode, which I think is exciting. Is, you know, it's great for collaboration. It's great for generating ideas and projects, but I think this is going to be a fantastic presentation tool as well that also brings, you know, this new element into your Zoom meeting of being able to present with much more powerful tools than you do now.
And just to call out these features too, these features are the features that differentiate us from the old whiteboard and really kind of take us into that next category of whiteboarding and collaboration.
Yep. And you know, there's some questions here about licenses and license types, and we're definitely going to cover that, because I think it's also exciting that, you know, Zoom has developed a standalone product as Whiteboard, but it's also going to be included in all your paid license types right now. So we'll make sure that we cover that. We'll make sure we cover the use cases by the time we wrap up today.
Cool. Okay, so great. Sticky notes. So a lot of this you saw, I'll just try to kind of double click on it. So again, sticky notes are going to be used to specifically, obviously, highlight ideas. You can tag people in them. You'll be able to, we're looking at some, and again, this is some kind of NDA type talk, but we are looking at some creative ways at how you might be able to capture a lot of text on a lot of sticky notes, and then maybe export it into a text file or sort them, or making that data a little easier to manage and digest. That would be out a little while, but definitely looking at some smart things to do with sticky notes. Obviously, I mentioned you can tag the workers in sticky notes and stuff like that. We can go to the next slide. Easy to share. I mentioned you have to have a Zoom account. And then depending on your administrative access, but regardless, you should be able to share with anyone that has a Zoom account through either chat, through a link, or email.
I think the chat inclusion, right, is really exciting, you know, for our customers as well, because you're able to collaborate. And what's great, I think, Nathan, is the smart, tech behind identifying who's in that meeting, right? So you don't have to necessarily search through your entire company contact resource. Zoom helps you identify who was in that meeting, who was collaborating on this, and kind of quickly gives you options on who to share that with, and throwing that in a chat. So there's that consistency between who is in the meeting, who's in the follow-up. I think that's just really helpful in the flow, and especially for project management if you're using this to execute that type of operation in your organization.
And just really quick on this one, Nathan, I think there might be some confusion here in the sense of, when you share outside of someone who doesn't have a Zoom client, we do have the web version of this, right? So let's just say that I am not a Zoom user, I don't have the client. We will be able to collaborate with somebody who doesn't have the client via the whiteboarding via the web. Is that accurate, Nathan?
The web version, when we say web version, you still have to log into the zoom.us. That's how you access the web version of it, is by logging in to zoom.us. As far as like sharing it external, really without a Zoom account, as far as I know, the only way you'd be able to share it would be through like a PDF or some sort of copy like that. If you wanted them to collaborate or actually interact in any way, even as, and there it is, the gray bar. And as you can see on the right, when you do share it, you can share it, give people editor access, commenter only access, viewer only access, right? So if you're going to want to interact with that document in any way, even if it's a view only or comment only, you're still going to need a Zoom account. So, and then when you
sorry. No, I think this is a great feature here too, right? So not only, is the sharing important, but it also shows you who's active, right, on that project, and who's opened it, who's contributed, and it keeps that running tally up there of how many people are logged in and using that whiteboard.
Exactly.
So I think we're going to answer a lot of questions here by kind of diving into some of the early use cases, right, that we've identified where Zoom Rooms from Touch will definitely elevate this experience. And we'll kind of start with DTEN Products, what we bring to the table to help you deploy this technology and be the vehicle for the best, whiteboarding experience. So first off here, with DTEN, right, we are designing all of these things for maximum inclusion and collaboration. So, when we are returning to the office, when we're returning to education, obviously we want this to be as simple as possible. So we're able to mix and match these all-in-one devices to equip multiple spaces and provide the tools that we really feel are going to drive collaboration, communication, and that new work and learning experience.
And just really quick on that, Scott, is, a D10 that was purchased 2 or 3 years ago, you guys can see that, we're doing all these upgrades. So isn't it cool that, even though you bought a D10 all-in-one a couple of years ago, we're still upgrading the feature set on it together, working with the D10 team in Zoom. So just really cool what we're able to do. And this is just another example of where we're going to take whiteboarding to the next level and continue to leverage, some of those devices that are already still out there that you guys purchased in the past.
We don't like to play catch up, right, Mark? We like to kind of future-proof what we're doing because, we have a little bit more insight into the roadmap in the future. So, investing in hardware, investing in your rooms license is going to continue to add value, continue to add features. So it's a fantastic long-term investment. You don't have to scramble later to find new tools, to find new hardware. Zoom Rooms and D10, we're constantly going to push new updates and the latest tech to your devices. And I think that's a huge value, right, to our shared customers, and should kind of bring some ease of mind to when you're planning your solution and your facility and you're picking out hardware, right? We've got this stuff future-proof, so you're not scrambling to catch up. we have a very strong and robust OTA system. So this stuff goes over the air. Your boards reset with new Zoom room releases, and you're in that environment, and those tools unlock and they're ready to go. Very cool stuff. So first, it's these safe group meetings and returning to that office. So we see tons of companies looking at this type of technology. So when you are returning in phases, or maybe you're returning all together, it's really great because you can walk into these huddle rooms, these collaboration rooms, medium-sized rooms, and you have that technology there at your disposal to recall, the whiteboards that might have been created at home or created in a different environment, that you're able to walk into that room, recall them, collaborate on a bigger screen, use that touch screen, those tools. And then also with the all-in-one, it's easy to start a meeting right then as well, right? So bring in collaborators live using that Zoom Rooms meeting technology, and really include, if you're in a full return, if you're in a hybrid environment, you have everything you need right there in the device and with the Zoom Rooms app to really execute across all of those different levels. So we're excited about what Rooms is going to look like. We're really excited about, the new type of rooms that we're seeing customers deploy. So, I know that you spend a lot of time talking to them, Mark, about things like phone booths and things like hot desks. So if you could let everybody know kind of what you're seeing out there as far as customers in this type of deployment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of our customer base right now doing the planning phases of returning to the office, right? We had kind of some false restarts, right? In June, a lot of customers didn't go back. They punted that to September. And now we're hearing a lot in January. So, the majority of them are seeing things like, putting these collaborative devices in phone booths, but also open spaces as well. So we're seeing a lot of cool new trends as we go back to the office. And then, of course, just a little teaser for our next webinar is we'll talk a little bit about hot desking. And so yet another thing we're going to be able to add to all the DTEN devices is hot desking, which is really cool. And that's something as well that's really forward thinking that we're looking to have towards the end of the year or early next year. So a lot of cool trends that we're seeing with return to office. And we just want to make sure that we're making it easy. And, along with the whiteboard features that we're adding, I mean, before it was really just, using it on the client or using it on a D7 kind of independently. Now we really want everybody to use it across all their devices. And that's the power, right, of having a true collaboration solution across all your devices. And the way you use it is going to be seamless. So very powerful when you see what we're developing here. And we're not saying that you need to go out and buy all the latest and greatest D10 devices as well. We'll be able to leverage the ones you already have, as well as expand the footprint.
Yep. So, this easily is covered, our 55-inch screen, which is really the flagship product, which, is the most used all-in-one touch Zoom Rooms for touch device that's out there in the ecosystem. So you've seen our 55-inch. We were talking about our 27-inch device, which is called the Me and the Me Pro. And those devices are designed to be all-in-ones that sit on the desktop. Where you can use those in the office for a personal situation where maybe it's just you and you need to log in and collaborate on a project that already exists. And then also bring this technology home. So that's something that we started doing during the pandemic, right, was looking at Zoom for home and Zoom users at home and giving them the same tools and the same resources that they would have in a big fancy office. But now you can park this in your home office and get these whiteboarding and meeting tools right there. So our new Me Pro is a fantastic device. It's on your desktop. You can use Smart to Connect technology to drive the experience from your laptop, or use the Zoom Rooms app that is native, and it boots right up into Zoom Rooms, and you log in and you have all these tools available to you. So we're really looking at multiple people in multiple places and multiple use cases, but the experience is the same and it's seamless. So that's the story we're trying to tell, is whether you're at home, whether you're in the office, in a big room, in a small room, it's very natural to kind of jump in and it's very intuitive on how to navigate through Zoom Rooms across multiple devices and be able to have maximum performance there, regardless of where you're working from. And then finally, we did get some questions about handheld devices and tablets, and that's what's great about this new collaboration. The DTEN Go with the Mate, it is designed for existing displays. So if you do have monitors in your facility and you want to video and whiteboard enable them, the Go and Mate is the perfect tool to do that. So it comes with a handheld tablet, where we use mirroring technology to annotate and whiteboard on your tablet. And then that is reflected in the meeting on the larger screen. And also, you have the video capabilities there as well. So it really gives you that touch screen experience that DTEN is known for. We're leading that technology, but you can use an existing display. So I think we've seen a ton of customers get really excited about enabling video and enabling whiteboarding on existing displays. So I think it's a fantastic new addition to the ecosystem where you can walk around the room. And I think teachers and people that are really creative really enjoy having that in their hand. And right now you can deploy this with the DTEN Mate. And to give a preview of another future webinar, right, we will talk about Zoom Room controller app and how that technology will also be available right in the app, Mark. So really great stuff. So across the product line, you can hold it in your hand, you can sit it on your desk, you can hang it on the wall, you can put it on a mobile cart, which we really see a lot of customers enjoy that flexibility of rolling this entire system into a room, plugging it in the wall, you connect to Wi-Fi, and you have all this technology and these features available at your fingertips, regardless of what type of room that you're in. So once again, just to recap, really exciting stuff. It's a brand new product. It's a brand new whiteboard. Redesigned from the ground up, which is great. And Nathan has kind of showed you that was, the idea behind this is to just give you a whole new tool with all of these, different features that are really going to drive that collaboration from your side. So the persistent solution across multiple platforms, the real-time collaboration, if you have hybrid teams, even in different locations, different offices, we see a lot of teams still being able to collaborate live in person, and we know that's where a lot of creativity and a lot of great ideas actually come from. And then to back everything up, DTEN has the solutions that are optimized for this experience in multiple sizes, and we can really provide you the right product for the situation that you might be in. Lastly, Nathan and Mark, let's talk about the different types of licenses, right? So there's some questions in there on do you need to pay for this? Is it included? So why don't you give everybody a little bit of background on this standalone product plus its availability in licenses you might already have.
Sure. So I think first of all, it's important to say that we're still finalizing the pricing and some of the licensing models, and so even what I'm about to say could change. And then what I'm about to say is I'm going to keep it really high level anyways. But so right off, there's going to be a free version. So anyone that has a free version of Zoom will have a free version of Zoom Whiteboard. The free version likely will be full featured and just allow the user to save only so many whiteboards, let's say 2 or 3 whiteboards that they could actually save and manage. And then any future whiteboards would be like archived or froze or something like that, unless they get a paid license. And then if they potentially then, depending on the customer, of course, this is all depends on the customer and the bundle you have and the deal you have. That's all, you can't hold us to this. But most customers that have paid Zoom licenses should receive the full version included, right? So basically it's aligned to your Zoom meeting or Zoom Rooms licensing, right? If you have a paid versions of license, you should have the whole version included. If you have the free version, you'll have a somewhat limited, but still pretty nice freemium version.
Very cool. And of course, all this baked into the, the Zoom Room licenses, right, that you already have and deploying. So really great options for all of our joint customers. And right now, just to recap, Nathan, right, we're looking at January for the multi-platform release.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, very cool. So I hope you'll come back and join us, in January, maybe December, so we can bring everybody up to speed on this final product that you're going to bring to market and really show how you can drive, collaboration across the platform. So, thank you very much for being here with us, Nathan. Thank you for your time. Same to you, Mark, as always.
Thank you.
And what we'd like to do next is talk to you guys directly. So, that nothing's better than getting a DTEN and a Zoom expert on the line with your company and with your leaders and your decision makers. So, we want to talk to you. There's a couple ways to do that. You can use your QR reader on your phone. Just open your camera app there and scan the QR code, and that will punch you out to a form where you can easily connect with DTEN and Zoom. And we have those one-on-one consultations. So both DTEN and Zoom, we take your business very seriously, and we're always willing to talk to you one-on-one and find the exact perfect solution for you and your organization. So we can do that with device management, personalized solution designs, and between DTEN and Zoom and Zoom Rooms, we have some of the best experts in the field to help you find the best solution for you. All right, so we will wrap it up. Thank you very much, Mark and Nathan. Again, thank you for joining us today. I think just by the chat and the response, we have a lot of excitement out there from our customers.
And thanks everyone for attending. We really appreciate it. The time you guys took today to listen to our talk track, and all the exciting features are coming out for whiteboarding.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, everyone. Definitely.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us through these technical issues we've been experiencing today.